This is track day number 12, take 2, at Lakeside Park, of course. Last Saturday we were supposed to have this track day, but it rained. A lot of people didn't want to keep riding, so they decided to cancel it and very graciously move it to today. And guess what the weather is? It's raining, light raining most of the morning, but there is a promise of a little bit of blue sky out there. Paul Free tuned my suspension on the 848 last week, so at least I got something productive happening when I came, but he made a lot of changes and I'm so keen to see how the bike feels now. So from chatting with him about it, what I'm expecting is, because the front was too soft, so I'm expecting it to possibly not dive as much under hard braking, and also hoping that it might turn a little quicker. We'll see. I'll be a bit more responsive anyway. And the rear was too stiff, really unbalanced, he said, so it should feel quite different. Paul did tune the suspension on my Super Sport 939 about a year ago, I think, and the difference that made just for street riding was quite amazing. So yeah, I can't wait to try this. I just hope the sun comes out enough or the track stays dry enough to get at least a session or two in today. I'm not going to ride if it is dumping down or the track is really wet, because I, like I mentioned in my last video, riding in the rain, I really don't know what I'm doing yet. So yeah. So aside from seeing what the suspension feels like now on the 848, I'm also keen to practice some skills I was learning at a Moto Dojo course recently on trail braking, just to see how that changes the way I feel entering some of the corners, particularly at the end of the straight going into Karrussell, and possibly coming out of Hungary and into Eastern. We'll see. I'm still trying to figure out for turn 6 coming down onto the straight whether I should just be accelerating non-stop from the exit of Eastern all the way down onto the straight, but I always notice in my videos I can most of the time hear myself backing off the throttle a little bit, so I know I'm not confident enough to go in at whatever speed I'm at that stage. So yeah, I might ask around and just see what kind of approach I should be taking for turn 6. It's never really felt as fast as it could. It's never really felt as fast as I think it could be, and that's again because I don't know what I'm doing. All right, so that is the plan for today. If the weather gods are going to smile on us.
So, in addition to sharing how Eva's suspension feels now, this track day reports a bit more of an insight into how I like to play out each track day. I am a nerd, I do like to be deliberate, and that's so I can get the most fun and improvement each time. And like I mentioned, I wanted to focus on trail braking and also turn 6 onto the straight today. But regardless, there's usually 3 things that help me most in getting something out of each track day. Firstly, intentions for what I want to practice or test. Secondly, journaling to focus before and reflect after each session. And thirdly, asking questions of more experienced riders. And I'm hoping to bring this to life for you in this video. So session 1's intention was just to warm up as usual, but also to see if I could feel changes in Eva's suspension. It was still a damp track. It did feel grippy enough, but I took it slow anyway, just to be safe. The bike did, I think, feel a little bit more stable or steady in turns, and I actually thought it was easier to turn in a couple of places, particularly through the bus stop, which is that quick left-right flick. I can't be sure though. I was only doing, I think, 1 minute 28 laps, so I was really way too slow to know. And interestingly, I noticed that trying to hang off felt really hard today. I can feel leg fatigue and my muscles burning when I do it, more than usual for some reason. I was wondering, maybe am I just a bit tense from apprehension about the wet track? Maybe I wasn't warmed up enough. I have been doing strength training for the last couple of months, and so maybe I had a bit of quad fatigue from squats. I don't know. Session 2's intention was to start looking for braking markers into Karrussell in particular. And as it turned out, one of the track guardians, thank you Simon, offered to lead me around just to help me fine-tune my lines. I never say no if a track guardian's offering to help. Unfortunately, though, there were probably too many slower riders in front, so I couldn't do too much braking practice, but I did pay attention to at least looking for where some of the potential braking markers are into Karrussell. And I chose a tyre wall that was kind of black. The rest of the tyres looked white, but the black bank of tyres was what I was going to aim for to start my braking. So Simon did lead me for a couple of laps to give me some pointers, and he literally did. Around every turn he's pointing to where he's tipping in and where he's putting the bike, which was super useful. He had said before session 2 that he had been following me before and thought my lines were excellent. Now, track guardians are just so encouraging, so I know he was being very kind, but regardless, I was happy to hear it. So again, my legs were burning heaps from hanging off, and I know I'm not hanging off much, and I know my technique's not particularly good, but I am trying to fine-tune it. I did, however, notice that I was getting my head fully to the inside of the screen in turns, though. I also was trying to play with softening my elbows, my inside elbow, a little bit as well. So the bike did feel quite secure around every corner, and really does seem to be easier to steer. Braking felt stable, I think. The zip tie showed that it wasn't really diving as much as it has in the past, but really without the data to see G-forces or whatever, and speed and the rest, I can't really be sure I'm riding as hard as I can. And the reason I don't have the data is I forgot to turn the lap timer on. Dang it. So session 3's intention was still to work on those braking markers, but also to play around with improving my lines through turn 6. This time another track guardian, thank you Mick, offered to lead me. His lines are similar to Simon's, I guess. I felt some of them were a little bit tighter. Some of Simon's lines I liked better, except Mick had a line through turn 6 that really worked for me. And I, on one occasion, I think I managed to even apex turn 6 with my body hanging over the grass a little bit. So after Mick exited, I ended up behind another track guardian. Now there was a bit of space there, but in general I managed to kind of stay with him for a while, which was great, just to keep learning from people who know better than me. This time the zip tie was further down, at least 3/4 down. But I know I did have to brake harder into Karrussell once. I can feel that I'm rolling off the throttle a little bit before I'm squeezing the brakes, so I know I can work on shortening that as well. But Eva did feel smooth everywhere. I think I was maybe braking a little bit harder into Hungary at least once as well. My intention for session 4, still more on braking and practicing even more my new approach to doing turn 6. There were quite a few to overtake in this session, and that took a few laps. My legs were again tired and sore, but I still managed a clean lap at a minute 17. Not my fastest, I've had a minute 16, but really it was a fraction of a second off, so it's no big deal. And I'm convinced I just need more strength, particularly in my calves and quads, because I'm just burning so much. And turn 6 was definitely getting better. Not hitting it every time the way I want to, but the apex was getting better, and the exit was getting better too. But I need to turn in, I think, from a bit wider out and not dip the throttle. Maybe when I have the line sorted, then I'll naturally be more confident to keep on the throttle and probably add more throttle sooner out of turn 6 too. So session 5, my intention is just to have fun. Usually that's it, no specific focus, just let everything naturally come together and enjoy it. Scotty suggested I try to do a hot lap, like just the best lap I possibly can. For me, that's really hard to do in the last session of the day because I'm feeling tired, but I also didn't get a chance to even though I did switch on to trying, because I just couldn't get past everyone. I didn't have a clear lap. There was overtaking to do every time. My legs were also trashed, and at that point I was planning on just, one more lap and then I'll exit, but the checkered flag came out anyway, so that was fine. So, no PB today, but I definitely felt more consistently fast laps, riding smoother, more control in braking harder, and even some hope that I can make turn 6 faster. So I was often slowing for quite a few other riders in my group. I didn't really get a lot of clear laps, and feedback from several different people throughout the day suggested I go up a group. Even a couple of track guardians didn't see any problem with doing that. Most of the people I spoke to about it agreed I'd be consistent enough, maybe not even the slowest in the next group. And also everyone mentioned 2 benefits that I was really hoping for. Firstly, to have more clear laps to ride at my speed, and secondly, to have more riders faster than me so I can follow them and learn from them. So I have entered for the next group for Lakeside next time. Let's see what happens.